Hello, welcome everybody. We will continue today in English. And welcome very much to the Data on Board session dedicated to engaging your stakeholder community. So one of the key challenge in any open data initiative is actually identifying your audience and understanding their needs. So today for our session, we will be addressing the following questions. So first of all, how do we identify the profile of the users of these open data? And secondly, what kind of data experience we can offer your stakeholders? And thirdly, from our speakers today, what advice and best practices we can share with someone around here who want to launch their open data initiatives. So first of all, my name is Beifan Kiki Lee. I'm the Customer Success Manager at Opendatasoft, helping some of our clients in their open data project. And today, we have here with us online on the top right, Webb, Head of Enterprise Data from UK Power Networks, connecting from the UK. We have here with us Damien Escot, Concessions Manager from GRDF in France. And we have Patricia Haemers, Head of Operations Data from Elia Group, coming from Belgium this morning. Welcome. So my first question goes to Matt here. You are actually the newest launch in September, launching the UK Power Networks Open Data Portal. So my question for you is, how did you identify your users and what you learned from your users from so far the launch? And lastly, how do you plan to continue your animation of your stakeholders and engage your community?
Good morning, all. So for us, it was very much about how we understood not just who our stakeholders were, but also what they want and need, what their value propositions were. And what you see on the screen here is an overview of some of the key drivers for us in terms of what we're responding to in meeting our stakeholder needs. So we're all very familiar with the transition that's happening within the energy system. What we describe as smart grid, the need and ability to operate an increasingly diverse set of stakeholders and energy users and connections onto our network. And data's at the heart of that in terms of how we facilitate interoperability. We then have the challenge of decarbonisation and net zero, a changing regulatory environment, the need to digitalize as a business, as an organization, and improve the products and services we provide, and also to meet increasing customer expectations. So in engaging with our stakeholders, it was really, really important that we first of all understood at a baseline level what this looked and felt like. Next slide, please. So in terms of the approach we've taken in actually identifying and engaging with our stakeholders, we were very conscious of the fact that we had a baseline level of knowledge in terms of who those stakeholders were. We could make some fairly broad assumptions with a degree of confidence with respect to what they wanted and needed, but we needed to at least test that, if not really get under the skin in developing that understanding. So in doing so, we implemented this 4-step approach that you can see here. So first of all, we undertook a baseline literature review and undertook additional research to build upon that. So what we were keen to do is not reinvent the wheel effectively, cover old ground. So by understanding what research and insight was already out there, we gave ourselves a very, very strong baseline from which to build upon. And that also informed some of the key areas and priorities that we needed to target when engaging, rather than just going out very broad and speculatively. Secondly, direct stakeholder engagement and surveying. So we had a number of facilitated events where we openly invited stakeholders to facilitated sessions where we tested assumptions, asked them questions about their needs and requirements, and beyond that also the value proposition. So what was the end benefit or output or product that they were looking to develop and deliver to their customers, so that it wasn't just about the baseline need, it was also about how that would be utilised and the value realised from it. And that helps an awful lot in terms of the prioritisation, because clearly we're such a large and diverse stakeholder community, we can't do everything at once. So that value piece is really important in establishing where we focus our effort and in what order. Thirdly, we undertook active consultation and ongoing participation through collaborative forums with our stakeholders. So one thing we're very, very keen to do, as touched upon in the fourth point from an enduring perspective, is develop what we describe as a community. We want to move beyond a transactional relationship where stakeholders simply ask us for access to a data set and we respond. We want it to be far more symbiotic than that. We want individual stakeholders to share their knowledge and insights with each other, demonstrate how they're using that data so that it both helps build our understanding, it fosters the sharing of best practice and the potential utilization of our data, but also really reinforces that point around value and all in all allows us to have that continuous improvement and expansion upon our data products and services. Next slide, please. So what we have here is an output of one of the sort of earlier phases of that approach, what we call our user ecosystem. So I think many of these communities will be very, very familiar to many of you. You can see we've got certain sectors called out here, the public sector, consumers, the energy sector, and against those specific stakeholder groups. And as I said before, it's a very, very diverse group with variation in needs. But what we quickly established through our engagement was the fact that there's an awful lot of commonality at a baseline level of what these stakeholders want and need from their data. And this is expressed on the right-hand side here. So first of all, what assets do we have? Where are those assets located? What are their capacity and level of utilization? What's their relative performance and reliability? And finally, what plan development do we have? Where are we going to be increasing our network in terms of capacity or use circuits that people connect to? And ultimately, those things are pretty much common across this entire ecosystem. So by having that baseline understanding at headline level, it's allowed us to really focus our effort in the right places going forward as we get more granular into their specific needs. Next slide, please. So hopefully the video will work. So ultimately what we're playing here is a particular element of our dashboard that we developed through or as a result of this engagement. So we have this dashboard that we've developed that allows local authorities in particular, but any user, to access and interrogate specific substations. So within our footprint, we've got a number of local authority areas that you can select, or as per the drop-down list here, you can select a specific substation. Against that, then, we've configured this interface so that it displays a lot of specific information with respect to utilization, generation demand connected to that substation, what we call our distributed future energy scenarios, how we expect load growth and demand to materialize, power quality, and even fault and soil characteristics. So all information that third parties find absolutely crucial and valuable when developing their own services and products for us. And ultimately, this development and others is very much informed by that stakeholder engagement. Next slide, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matt. And congratulations on this very pretty portal that we worked on together. And I welcome you to check out the UK Power Network's Open Data portal and the dashboard that Matt just showcased here. So next up, we will have Damien. If you could just please quickly introduce yourself. And my question for you is, we're very impressed about the concession data platform that you created with services to your collectivities. So how did you create this experience for your users, and what benefits were derived for GRDF and for your clients?
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Damien Escot, and I'm working in the National Concession Delegation in the Central Services of GRDF, the NG's subsidiary in charge of gas distribution networks in France. GRDF, if you can put the slide, please. The previous one is not. GRDF operates networks in nearly 10,000 French cities, and distribute gas for more than 11 million customers on behalf of all energy suppliers. And we are about 12,000 employees for more than 200,000 kilometers of networks, which is about 5 times the circumference of the Earth. And we distribute 300 terawatt-hour of energy, and we have an asset base of more than 15 billion euros. So GRDF is operating networks on behalf of the local authorities under concession contracts lasting for 20 to 30 years. And according to these contracts, GRDF has to communicate to the concession authorities a large amount of information each year. Information about the concession, like inventory characteristics of the pipes, valves, regulators, and so on. Characteristics of the customers and their gas consumptions, incidents, assets, and so on. Previously, this data was transmitted by email or by USB key, mainly in response to a request from the licensors, and it was not satisfactory neither for them nor for us. For them, because they found that GRDF was not transparent and the data formatting was not consistent from year to year. And for us, because it was very time-consuming and inefficient. So that's why a few years ago we contracted with ODS to create a platform on which we can deposit and organize all the data concerning the entire French territory. And thanks to the SAML protocol, each local authority can, through its personal access on the GRDF's website, consult, analyze, and download the data concerning its territory. So, just previous, please. What you can see here is the first we worked on the data structure because we manage more than 5,000 concession contracts, and we have about 60 data sets, some of them containing more than 10 million records. So it was very important to organize and document the data sets as clearly as possible. And then we worked on the homepage design. So that's why what you see here, to improve and simplify the user experience. As you can see, we organized the datasets in a hierarchical menu, consistent with our annual activity reports. And at this stage, we identified a missing function on the ODS software, the possibility for a user to download in a few clicks all the datasets available on a specific perimeter. I was very surprised that it was not a standard function for this, because I'm sure that this need is very useful on all data platform, open or not. But so we had to develop a specific code for this function, thanks to Umami Data, maybe they are here. And we added this, if you can go to the next, yeah. We added this global download button on the home page, which leads you to the next page, on which you can choose a period and a territory, and in one click, you get a zip file containing one file per non-empty dataset. It was very appreciated by our customers, and so I'm very confident that ODS will soon understand that it's a really need, and it will integrate it into its standards. We also integrated last year hypertext links in our annual activity reports, giving to the reader direct access to the dataset corresponding to a chart or a table is consulting. What you can see here are two charts of an activity report concerning the gas consumption by type of consumers. And when you click on the link below, you directly access to the datasets related to these charts. And this as well is quite popular to our customers. And this year, we are working on the possibility to add to the platform cartographic representation of the gas networks and its accessories, in order to enable the users to integrate them into their own geographical information systems. And you can see here all the cartographic datasets that will soon be available to our concession authorities. And for example, the pipes datasets that will, with all the attributes, they will be able to consult or download and implement it into their own gas. And finally, the side effect of all these developments that we made is that our platform is now very useful for many people in GRDF, not only those who communicate with local authorities. So even if it was designed initially for external purpose, it is now recognized as a very reliable and user-friendly tool to share annual data about all activity at any geographical level. So it was a very nice side effect. And to close my speech, what I can say is that our concession data platform is now fully operational, known and appreciated by our customers. And it's very performant, secure, and fully available, which are the three key qualities of a data platform, in my opinion. I think that ODES platform is very efficient, and the periodic improvement added are very often useful. So that's why I'm here, and I want to congratulate them and to boost them to continue as well.
Thank you very much, Damien. It's quite impressive to see over the years how you added gradually different elements to your open data, starting from having the data, being able to download the report, annual report, to having mapping functions, and in the future, having more internal sharing in your organization. Thank you very much. And lastly, but not least, Patricia, if you could quickly introduce yourself. And my question for you is, actually we're very impressed by the robust data governance that you were able to implement in your organization in your commitment to transparency and digitalization. So my question is, how do you expect to improve your stakeholder experience with access to your grid data?
Thanks, Kiki. So, hi everyone, I'm Patricia Haemers. I'm heading operations and data at Elia back in Belgium. So I ensure operational excellence in whatever we do, and also have a big focus on embedding data centricity principles in all the projects we launch within our customer market and system division. So I work at Elia. It's a group, Elia Group, and we are active in Belgium and in Germany. So as a transmission system operator, we're also active in the UK and also having consultancy and engineering services in an international, in the more international, I would say, landscape. Through Elia Grid International, and then also offering digital and data services through Rialto. You can go to the next one. So we connect generation and distribution. We're organized around some core activities. If you can go to the next one. So we're obviously owning the grids, so that means that we develop and build and maintain the grids to deliver the infrastructure of the future. We're also keeping the system in balance, which is really a crucial task. And then also our market facilitator in the European landscape. So next slide, please. Some numbers, 2020. So we own a bit more than 19,200 kilometers of high voltage lines and cables. We provide, we supply power to over 30 million of end users, and we have a reliability of the grid of 99.99%, of which we are very proud. And I would, yeah, and then we can go to the content slides. Yeah, thanks. All right. It's a bit awkward to have the slides behind, but so we have been working for the past years and the years to come, actually, we'll be working on consumer centricity and a sustainable electricity system. So that will be key. And as part of that ambition, we actually see our open data platform as being a key component for being able actually to deliver value to our consumers. Next one. Our approach was to actually enable a vast majority of market parties to participate, ranging from professional market players to public and private users, and also in the future citizens and local communities. So that's a bit the stakeholders. Through our project, Open Data Platform, what we really liked about it is that it's pretty simple. If you've seen the previous demos as well, and it comes with some very nice features for the end consumers. It's easy to find your data. They are centralized in a data catalog, and you have different options for searching. It's very accessible for the end users as well. The templates to access the data, they are standard for all data sets we publish through our portal. The data are interoperable, which means that actually you are able to cross data, which was not the case previously on our website. And then also as fourth feature, we also ensured that we transparently mention under which license the data can be consumed, which was also very important for us. So as I said, initially the project was targeting, of course, our external stakeholders. Those are active energy market players using our data since many years, but previously on our website, also for business decision taking. But as soon as we launched actually the platform, there was also a big interest internally from our own collaborators. And more recently, it was also heavily used in our first hackathon in October, where it was used for rapid prototyping. So that was also a nice event. So as Kiki mentioned, what was really important as well when we launched the project is to actually embed data centricity, a data governance model. So it means that actually we will not expose data which haven't been previously defined through our data governance tool. So it's actually a layer before the exposition of the data. As I said, lots of market parties take business decisions based on our data. So it was really important to have curated and trusted data before exposing it on the platform. So that's really crucial. Just go back. Besides the data governance part and the exposition layer, we of course are also investing in monitoring tools to actually see that the data which are offered on the platform are as complete as possible. Also for the feedback, getting the feedback out of the external stakeholders, there's also a standard feature of the standard contact form, but we're also using user groups, and we're also thinking of digitalizing more the customer care. So that will be one of the next steps. Maybe some facts and figures. So we have had our soft launch this summer in July. And we went live with over 40 data sets back then. Today we're actually at 56 data sets. It's even increasing. And we have data sets with refresh rates ranging from 1 minute to quarterly. And then we have also max granularity of 1 second data, 10 seconds data. And then the activity trend, which was quite interesting. Like I said, we did a soft launch in the summer, not much. We did one press release, but we actually tested during the summer to see how that would be taken by the market parties. In September, we started communicating. You see kind of a peak, but then when we launched our hackathon, where it was really used by lots of market parties, there we saw a jump, and we stabilized at about 4,300 users today. Then a bit of sneak preview on the Open Data Platform. It's a bit the same. It's always the same formats. So what is really nice is that it's easy to use, very user-friendly. You can search for the data sets via different ways. And there again, the same visual. So again, you can see all the data sets with the granularity, the accrual periodicity, you can search. And also what we have also decided to do when we defined our data is that we made a difference between the data which are refreshed near real time and the data which are more historical. As a closure, maybe we can go to the very last slide. Yes, so we started the journey last year in 2020 with the go live this summer, ever increasing activity since the summer. And in terms of next steps, like I said, we want to improve the digital customer care part. So we will be integrating our platform also with our customer portal. And of course, further integrating it with the data architecture of Elia. So quite some next steps to do still.
Thank you very much. Very stunning map and journey that you have gone on with your organization, with various initiatives, putting really your stakeholders and your users at heart, and your impressive hackathon events. I'm sure a lot of our clients and other data project leaders may make use of these lessons and experiences. Thank you very much to all of you for the sharing that you've had with us today, and we will open up to the Q&A session. You may ask your questions here or in the chat section if you're coming online. I think that we're running out of time. So feel free to connect with our speakers today online or at our session. And thank you very much for being here today. Thank you. A round of applause for our speakers.